Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan. We have got a fantastic show lined up for you today. We're going to talk professional soccer right here in Polk County. Of course, we're talking about the Tropics. We're going to talk about Tracy McGrady coming back to Polk County for an annual event. And Jack Myers, 2019 Polk County Sports Hall of Fame inductee, is here to talk to us. It's going to be a special edition of Sports Central. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Sam Baker. And it's been a while since I've been here. I think last time I hosted, I was with you.
Exactly. I think once you heard that I was hosting, that you were like, oh, I'm going to get back on there with Sam.
Don't think it was that at all. But we want to thank this segment sponsor.
Yeah, thank you so much to Balmoral Resorts for sponsoring this segment of Sports Central. We couldn't have it we couldn't have the show without our wonderful partners. So quick shout out to them. And
they are really doing so much there at that resort, and you know, the vacation homes and the rental properties and all those things up at the I-4 and 27 area, and they are a great addition to that. Speaking of great additions, this first segment is going to highlight Eric Robinson, and he's the head basketball coach at Auburndale High School, but he's a great addition to the Auburndale community because he actually runs the community center over there and does so many great events. Eric, welcome to Sports Central.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
So off air, you wouldn't do Go Bartow for me, but we'll leave basketball season to basketball season, won't we?
Yes, sir.
it's the off season right now.
Of course, you had a great season with the high school team, head coach at Auburndale High School. And before we talk about the special event you're here to talk about, let's talk about last season and what it meant to you.
Oh yeah, it was a great season. Great thing for our small town, you know, to get a chance to make a push the way we did. You know, kids just really enjoyed the time, and you know, for me to see some of the old faces pop up in the gym, you know, just for me, just something to continue to build upon. So
I think the neat thing about Polk County, not only about the great athletes, the great coaches, the great community support, is the fact that when their team ends up bowing out of the playoffs, it seems like everybody shows up for the team that's still in. You saw a little bit that towards your push to trying to get to a finals berth and coming up just short, but talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, it was great. You know, see some of the folks from Lakeland, see Coach McGriff and his staff come over, you know, just people just really just having your back, Polk County, people in Polk County, our folks in Winter Haven, our arch rival, you know, but we do the same for them, you know, anytime someone from Polk County makes it to the Civic Center, I'm there rooting them on, you know. And it's just, for me, it's been a dream, you know, and something that we want to, like I say, continue to push upon, and hopefully, you know, we're hungry now, so we like to actually have that opportunity to get to the Civic Center. I mean, we were very close this year with a 4-point game out in Hillsborough, and even for, you know, a big time contribution of Tracy McGrady to come out and be a part of that event, it was really nice.
Well, speaking of Tracy McGrady, you have an event coming up with Tracy, and it's always impressed me. Of course, he came back a few years ago and he was inducted into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame, and it's always nice when somebody comes home and is a part of that. But he's been coming back. He didn't just come back for that one event. He continues to come back to Auburndale. He continues to come back to Polk County. Talk about Tracy as the person, and talk about what he has done over there with you, not only the high school but at the community center.
Oh yeah, he's been great. You know, he's never shied away from being home. He doesn't have to bring 2, 3, 4 security guys with him, and I think that's mainly because he's home so much. You know, people recognize him, see his face, and they, you know, you get a couple kids that are in the community center that he might just pop up in the community center, and they're like, oh my gosh, Tracy McGrady's here, you know. And it's just cool, you know, even for me still to this day when I see him come home and I see kids just in awe about, you know, who he is, and he'll go out on the court with them and shoot some hoops and stuff like that. And it's just really cool to see him to continue to come back. I mean, there's many, many, many places he could go, but he comes back home and still spends time. You know, during the football season, he'll come in to at least once or twice. He'll come into a football game, you know, show his support. Basketball season, he comes into at least one game during the season because he's busy as well with his schedule. So I just think that's cool that he will at least come back and show his face and be home at times. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've seen him around too, just with so many different events, and I've seen him out. He was even at Andre Berto's, turkey trot or whatever the
Turkey bowl.
Turkey bowl. That's what it is. Can't even think of it. But I mean, you were his coach, correct? Way back when. So what was it like having that Tracy McGrady as a player, and just seeing him then and seeing him excel to where he is now? What was that like?
Well, I only coached him in youth league, so I was good in 20. He was like 13, and the memory that I have of him was we played in a championship game and we beat the team like 48-46, and he had 42 of our points. So even though he was really good at baseball, he was pretty good in football as well. But you could just, the more he grew, you could just kind of see him blossom into something real special, And from that point, I just followed him in high school, continued to be a supporter of him. And I had a little brother that was a couple years behind him, so that gave me many reasons to be in the gym and kind of watch him. But you could just see it, see that if he continued on the right path and did things the way it should be done, that he would be special.
Let's talk about this event, June 21st through the 23rd. Is it at the high school or the community center or both?
It's at the high school. Okay. Now last year we started a camp, incorporated a camp for the kids, and we did that. We're doing that at the community center on the 22nd. So that'll be from like 7 to 10 o'clock in the morning on the 22nd. Okay,
so the 22nd is the camp, the second year of that, but the tournament itself is the 21st to the 23rd there at the high school.
Yes, sir.
In the gymnasium. So let's talk about them separately. What can viewers at home expect from the camp on the 22nd, and then what can they expect from the tournament at the high school?
Oh yeah, last year we had over 100 kids to show up for the camp. They got some free stuff, T-shirts and hats and stuff that Tracy had for them. We fed them once the camp got over with. We had coaches, Winter Haven girls, some of my guys, just people in the area that were willing to help. I mean, the volunteer support that we had was awesome. Folks just wanting to come in and give their time and be a part of that event. And, kids got an opportunity to, once again, to do some things with Tracy, do some drills. We had, different drills set up where we'll have a trainer come in this year and do some ball handling drills with them, which was really cool. And so it's just, once again, it'll be another great event for the Tracy McGrady Foundation and for the weekend as well.
Okay, and the tournament, there's a big cash prize at the end of the day on Sunday.
Yeah. I tell you, the basketball during that weekend is just awesome. I mean, you get a lot of pro guys, ex-pro guys. You get guys that have played overseas that are coming in and playing for $10,000. All the games are just very, very competitive. And then it's just basketball. I don't think we've ever had any type of an incident there. Guys are just coming in and playing hard, enjoying themselves, and then just to see the faces of the different people that come in. And, Ray Lewis has been in the building before watching. Dante Culpepper. It's just been a really good event for Polk County.
And so this is just part one of the tournament, correct? Then there's another part, the tournament in Houston also, right?
Yeah, well, actually, this is the first year they're doing that.
Oh, okay.
It's always just been a Polk County thing, but they decided that, they wanted to expand it a little bit, and then the winner of this event on the 23rd, I'm not sure when that Houston event is, but he'll fly those guys out, and they'll participate in the Houston event as well.
So the tournament itself is more of a celebrity type. I mean, it's players, but there's also celebrities, regular players, I guess I should say. And then there's the superstars sprinkled in there. So is there a cost of admission, or what does that look like?
No, it's free. The event is free. Just coming in and folks getting a chance to see some really good basketball. Last year, Tracy actually played an event. I'm not sure if he's in good enough shape to play this year, but he did play an event last year. He actually brought a team from Houston, and they went 0-2. And but it was a very, very good event, and like I said, it's a free event for folks.
Well, that's smart on his part, because he didn't want anybody that's participating to think, that he rigged his own event.
Yeah.
So he brings a team in that goes 0-2.
And it's also just a testament to the talent that's out there playing. These players that are out there. I mean, high quality pro level playing right here.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go back to the camp real quick. Is there a cost for the camp, or is
No,
that
sir.
free as
That's
well?
free.
So is there a website folks can go to?
If folks go to TMAC 10K weekend, it has all the information, you know, for the camp that Saturday. It gives also more information about the tournament with the the list of teams and stuff like that, and the times and all of that. And I'm sure probably in a couple weeks there'll be a schedule up with the teams and everything. So.
Okay, so just to recap, the tournament itself is June 21st to the 23rd, but the camp is June 22nd. That is at the Auburndale Community Center, but everything else is at Auburndale High School. Okay, Coach, is there anything we missed or we haven't covered that we need to cover for these events?
Besides Go Bloodhounds, I mean, I think it's all. It's all good.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Well, of course, we're always happy to see so many teams doing so well in Polk County, and last year was a great run for you, and we wish you success. I wish you success all season, other than one night a year when you're playing the Yellow Jackets, but
Yes, sir.
Competitive games, right?
Yes, sir.
That's right. All right, Coach. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
Well, another great athlete that came from Polk County, in addition to Tracy McGrady, would be Ken Riley. He had a great career in the National Football League, and he comes back every year. In fact, he lives here, but he brings all of his friends back each year for a golf fundraiser and related events. We were able to catch up with him at that event recently at Cleveland Heights Golf Course. Take a look at this footage. Sam and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
Well, what we do, we try to go out and help kids that maybe not going to higher education, but still want to get some type of training to help them be great citizens and be able to work in the workforce. So we've been concentrating a lot on the technical side of it. Last night we had representatives from Travis Technical School, Ridge Technical School, and also Gulfs Academy, which is a high school program designed to help those kids who may have had some problems or issues in the regular high school classes, and to give them an opportunity to come and get their degree. So we're not only doing things there. I go back to my alma mater, Florida University. We help with scholarships there in higher education, also at the Union Academy High School. We also help with giving kids scholarships to go to school. So it's a great thing, and this is the 4th year we've been doing it. This is the largest crowd that we've had, especially with the golf tournament. And last night we had some celebrities. Every year people come back and see some of the celebrities. This year we brought in Sam Jones, basketball player for the Boston Celtics, and he was here, and with all the other celebrities that we have coming in. It was a great event, and the foundation is designed to help those kids get an education, some type of skill to help them further in their careers and in their life.
You should see my garage. It is loaded with just going around the country playing golf, raising funds to help other people. And believe me, when Ken called me and said, I need you, I said, I'll be there. And that's why I'm here, because a lot of people need our help, and I'm willing to give it.
Well, I'm actually a 6-time World Long Drive finalist, golf trick shot entertainer, and professional player. So I have 3 different dynamics that I use, both for charity functions, corporate outings, member guest tournaments, you name it. But today we're out here for the Ken Riley Foundation, and Ken gave me a personal phone call. We had met at the Larry Little Foundation tournament down in Miami, and he thought I'd be a fun fit to help raise some money for his foundation here in Lakeland. So he's doing good things for the community. So today we are doing trick shots. I'm more like the Harlem Globetrotters of golf, in effort to help them raise some extra funds.
Well, it's a brotherhood, and we called upon each other to come and help. I go to Larry Little's tournament. Lawrence is just left here. If he has a tournament, I come. A lot of times, I might not play golf, but I come. I may be the fourth guy. I like to putt, but we support each other for a good need and for a good cause. And every year, it gets better and better. And I'm just happy that these guys will come back, and people get a chance to see them as normal people, just like they are. They were blessed with a skill. They went out and took advantage of it.
This is what it's all about, Donna. We were kids at one time, but we had people that we stood on their shoulders to get where we are. And this is what giving back is the main thing. And with all athletes, I'd say 99% of them are going to give back because of from whence they came. And I know where I came from and the support that I've got over the years.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Sam Baker in this segment. The second segment brought to us by Hollywood Window Tinting and Signs. And was that you that missed that part?
I was about to ask if that was you. It looked familiar.
It looked like me,
you were
but
wearing the same thing.
Yeah, somebody stole the shirt. It wasn't me.
All right.
We'll just move on to our second guest. The Tropics Soccer Club here in Polk County has grown so much since they came to Polk County. And we want to welcome now Andrew Ross from the Florida Tropics. And Florida, Lakeland, there's a lot of names. So before we go into a lot of the things going on and to your soccer camp, let's talk to our viewers about the different clubs and the different leagues they're playing in, because if you're a fan of soccer, you guys are putting a brand all over Polk County.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the goal. Now, the reason there's different names for teams is actually because of the leagues. They require each team have some sort of a different variation while still being Tropics. The hope is that when you say Tropics soccer, people know, oh, okay, that's,
right,
the pro club in town, which it is what it is. But, you have Tropics SC, so that's the team that plays out at Auburndale at Lake Myrtle Sports Complex. And then you have the Lakeland Tropics, and that's the team that plays at Bryant Stadium. As far as our outdoor, that's what's going on right now. And then the Florida Tropics, that was the original team, the indoor team, Major Arena Soccer League. So we've actually moved kind of recently, and you'll see a big announcement coming out over the summertime where we're going to be, we are Florida Tropics Soccer Club, and underneath that you'll have a little more specific umbrellas for teams, but at least that will be the overall club branded name. So, it's just kind of seeing how it all plays itself out, but the goal was to just provide more soccer and opportunities to watch, professional soccer here in Polk County.
Well, I want to throw it out a few times, because at the end of the day, give us the website. If they go to that website, they'll know who's playing where, because as you mentioned, the first year out at Lake Myrtle at the sports park there in Auburndale, that team's undefeated. And then you have the team at Bryant Stadium, who I think is 1-1. So what's the website people can go to get a schedule of events?
Yeah, so everything's going to be pushed through fltropics.com.
Okay.
And actually the Lakeland, both teams are still undefeated right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought.
Yeah, because they lost the Open Cup game, but technically not regular season.
Oh,
so
okay.
as far as regular season, yes. So the team playing in Auburndale, if they win this weekend, they'll actually qualify for the playoffs. And that'll be the first team in our franchise history out of any of the leagues we've played in to make the playoffs. So that would be a big deal for us.
Oh, fantastic.
I was just going to say, it just makes so much sense to have so much soccer and expanding the Tropics Soccer Club in the area, just because we are the home to the Florida Youth Soccer Association, and we are what feels like the epicenter of youth soccer, and sort of creating that name and that feeder of youth soccer up in through the professional leagues, and giving those kids a place to play and just somewhere to look up to, really, as far as soccer goes.
Yeah, and it's funny, we just had our tryouts for the youth club, and numbers were up across the board, which was great for actually all 3 youth clubs, because we do have branches out in Celebration and in Pinellas County. So that was good as well. But yeah, to see numbers up and to see kids, and it's funny, you ask them, what matters to you, and they want to get to know the pro players more, and they want to be like them one day. I was even sitting at a game and just hearing these little kids behind me, and this maybe 8-year-old boy points to his sister and goes, one day I'm going to be playing on that field. Nice. And you're going to come and watch me. And that's the whole purpose, is to have that foundation, and to create kids who are going to be fans for life.
Well, let's talk about that, because Sam hit on a great point. Of course, when sports marketing partnered with the city of Auburndale to recruit the Florida Youth Soccer Association state headquarters. In fact, we'll talk a little bit about this with our next guest. Part of the reason he's going in the Hall of Fame with all the great work he did for that. But that changed things for Polk County, because if you look at the U.S. across the board, until probably maybe the last 10 or so years, everybody in the world cared about soccer except for the United States. And of course, a number of things have caused that to change. But talk about why you think the recruitment of Florida Youth Soccer has really made it where you guys can be in Polk County and being very successful because of the growth of the sport.
Well, as you kind of said, I mean, the youth is the foundation, right? So what you're seeing now is that for the first time, the fan base of soccer is a consumer. So, you had someone like myself who, I grew up playing soccer, but the generation below that was really football, and below that was baseball. So you didn't really have a whole lot of push for soccer, right? Especially from the youth standpoint. So now you have, and just like any other sport, if you don't know the rules of a sport or have had zero connection with it, it's going to be tough to, really be a hardcore fan of that sport. So you have the first generation, which has gone, now to the consumer side. But with Florida Youth Soccer, that's amazing to have headquarters, because they're bringing in the tournaments here. They're bringing in kids, so it's good for us to have kind of that core of, hey, we are the pro club in town, get us a little more visibility from different clubs that are coming in here. But it's just great to grow the sport, in the heart of Florida, to be centrally located and to allow so many different kids to be able to come through here. So I think it's huge for us to have them here and to have, a partnership with them, obviously playing out at Lake Myrtle now, and hopefully getting them some more exposure for, just kids to know, like, hey, there's a really good, sanctioned association that you can play soccer in at a competitive level here in Florida.
Of course, have the adults out there as well, the Florida State Soccer Association. But as a follow-up to that, you guys are really branching out into the community. So not only is Florida Youth Soccer here and the Florida State Soccer Association, but you guys are definitely putting your imprint on all the clubs locally. Talk about that real quick before we go to your camps.
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of, obviously we have our own youth club, but the most important thing is to stay club neutral and to know that, hey, look, it doesn't matter if you play for the Winter Haven Kicks or the Lakeland Tropics. We just want you supporting the sport, coming out to a game, having a good time, going to a family-friendly event. That's kind of the goal, and to follow what our mission statement is, which is, to provide as much soccer as possible for our county and our community, but also to bring our community together through having a team that they can get behind, they can support, and really be proud of here. So, this past week we signed 5, we call them the major free agency signings, all of which were ranked in the top 20. It's the biggest free agency period that the MASL has ever had on the indoor side. And these guys are not coming here because it's not just because it's Florida. That helps, but they're we're offering them larger contracts, and we're saying, hey, look, we want to win. I mean, we want people to be proud of our team. So we know that you're going to have to bring in better players to win. So last season didn't go the way we wanted, but obviously we're seeing success in the outdoor. Now the goal is, can we get success in the indoor and start bringing some championships home here to Polk County?
No, well, I thought you had something. Well, and speak to that, because the renovation at the RP Funding Center, and really you know, the Flying Tigers have been here for a long time. Of course, the Detroit Tigers with spring training, but the growth of professional sports in Polk County, that has to help with what you guys are trying to accomplish as well.
It does, and a lot from a ticket standpoint, because you want people to view their hometown team as credible, so that they're willing to pay, you know, $5, $10, $20 to go to a game. So that's a big part of it for us. But I would say, you know, having the teams, obviously now we have 3 teams. You have, you know, the Magic, the Tigers, and us. So you have 3 good, credible sports teams, which hopefully gets the community to rally around all 3 of them and say, hey, you know, I don't have to travel to Tampa or Orlando now to see a high-level professional sport event. I have it right in my backyard, and I need to support my backyard team. So we're not saying don't go to an MLS game or an MLB, whatever. We want people to support sports, but know that you have it in your backyard. That should be your hometown team, and really have that core feeling of, you know, hey, it's Saturday night, you know, that we know the Tropics are playing, you know, let's go have a good time. You know, it's affordable. So that's kind of the goal, is just, you know, all 3 of us to get people in Polk County to be proud of the teams they have here.
Absolutely.
And you can already see how you all are trying to, I guess, combine all the professional sports in the area, working with the, you know, the Lakeland Magic, and now working with the Flying Tigers, because, you know, with your camps, which is something we want to talk to you about, the camps this year are out at Tigertown. So kind of tell us about what can parents expect, what can kids expect whenever they sign up for these camps?
Yeah, so it's the professional players who are going to be coaching it. So we've, you know, spent months on a nice, fun program that's going to not only teach them, but also allow them to have fun, because it's summer camp. You want them to have fun. That's the purpose of it. So we have 4 of them coming up over the summer. First one coming up here in a couple weeks in the second week of June. So lots of opportunities to be able to sign up for that. But it's really being able to engage with the professional players, learn from them, and again, just have a fun week of camp.
That's fantastic. So looking at the dates, June 3rd through the 7th, June 24th through the 29th, July 15th through the 19th, and then August 5th through the 9th. So plenty of chances. Are there different levels or different, is it the same camp for every one of them, or is it targeting certain ages? How does that work?
So we target the younger kids. So it's, you know, more of your 4 to 12, 13-year-olds. But every camp will have different, you know, sessions. I mean, some things will be repetitive because you need to work on the technical side for skills, but every camp will be a little bit different, because we do have some kids who will actually be returning campers from multiple camps. So last year, you know, big success. The kids have fun. The full-day campers get fed. They get, you know, a T-shirt, and just, again, it's all about being able to engage with the professional players in kind of a really unique environment.
Fantastic. Well, if they want more information about the 2019 Tropics Soccer Summer Camp schedule, what website can they go to?
fltropics.com.
Same one.
That'll be for everything,
Okay.
or call
Schedules for the teams and all that. Okay. Speaking of schedules, what do you have coming up?
Yeah, so tomorrow night, huge game against the Villages. That's the team that beat us in the Open Cup in 10 rounds of penalty kicks. So $5 tickets at Bryant Stadium.
Game.
It was an insane game.
Yeah.
So, you know, $5 tickets at Bryant Stadium, 7 o'clock kickoff. So, and then next week, doubleheader with the women's and the men's, Saturday, June 1st at 4 and 7 o'clock.
Okay, one more time, the website, so people can get all that information.
Yep, fltropics.com.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much, not only for what the Tropics are doing, but what you're doing, because I know you work very hard, and you're juggling a lot, and we do appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, when all these teams come into Polk County, we have great attractions and places for them to go, and one of those places is the Lake Wales Museum. We recently got some new footage from there. We want you to check it out. Sam and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
Welcome to Lake Wales. Today we're going to tour the city's museum. The building is on the National Register of Historic Places.
The Lake Wales Museum showcases hundreds of years of history, and we have artifacts and photographs and documents all about the history of Lake Wales, how it was founded, the pioneers that got it started, and then kind of all about the industry that came to this whole area. there's three main industries. It's really important: citrus, turpentine, and cattle, and you still see a lot of citrus and cattle in this area. The museum is housed in a 1928 train station that was converted to the museum in 1976. So where we are right now is in one of the first exhibit rooms of the museum, and I'm standing in front of the original ticket window that was part of the train station. So it's kind of a cool thing that you can come in here and actually see the way it was originally as a train station, but then you can also get all this really wonderful historical information in the exhibits as well. And what you're going to do is walk through the first three rooms are all the historical exhibits, as I was talking about, Lake Wales. Then in our last room, which was the original freight room, we have different exhibits that change throughout the year, so you're always going to see something new and different in there. And then if you go out the back double doors, you're going to see our train cars, and you can go inside the caboose.
So today I'm showing you the Seaboard Airline Railroad caboose. It was built in 1926, and cabooses served a very important role on railroads. Every freight train that traveled across this country would have a caboose pulled in the end of it, and the reason for this had multiple purposes. First, the caboose would house the employees who were working on the train on these trips. They could cook in there, they could take a nap, they could brew a pot of coffee, anything they needed on their long journeys. Also, if you have a railroad or a train traveling on the railroad pulling a couple dozen or maybe even 50 to 100 cars, the person driving the locomotive would have no idea what's happening in the back of the train. So the railroad would have an employee stationed at the top of the caboose called the cupola. And from the cupola windows, the railroad employee could overlook the entire train and keep an eye on making sure nothing is getting damaged, catching on fire, or making sure none of the cars got disconnected. And these cabooses were used from about the 1860s until 1986, when they were discontinued because technology had caught up enough to make them obsolete. We have the caboose set up how we believe it looked originally. Those 4 bunks that the railroad employees could sit on or take a nap. There's a cast iron stove. There's the original water containers in case they were thirsty. And of course, they can climb into the cupola and look out the view of the windows. This caboose is open, and you can walk through it anytime the museum is open, Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 5.
So besides coming here and visiting all the exhibits and learning about Lake Wales history, we also have programs that run throughout the year. We have speaker series, we have a book club, we have history happy hour, all kinds of fun stuff, including a history bus tour that we do every other month. So that's really fun as well. So lots of fun stuff here at the museum to see.
The next time you're in the area, stop by for a self-guided tour. The Lake Wales Museum is open Tuesday through Saturday, and admission is always free. To get more information about current events, visit their website or go to Facebook to find out what's going on in their exhibit section.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Sam Baker, and some good footage there. Our own Jessica Roberts out there catching up with the Lake Wales Museum.
Yeah, you always kind of forget how much really is in the area, and the Lake Wales Museum is definitely a testament to the attractions we have here in Polk County.
Well, we'll always cover it in our fourth segment. We'll go ahead and say it now. Of course, if you forget about all the things or you don't know about all the things in Central Florida's Polk County, go to visitcentralflorida.org or go to the Visitor Information Center 1/2 mile south of I-4 on Highway 27, and you'll learn about great individuals and organizations such as Legoland Florida Resort, which is our segment sponsor for this segment. Speaking of great individuals, our next guest is going to be inducted on June 11th into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame with the 2019 class. And we want to welcome to Sports Central Mr. Jack Myers. And Jack, welcome, and again, congratulations.
Thank you, Neal. I appreciate it.
It's it might be lost on my co-host Sam as to the true impact that you had, Jack, during your time not only on the City Commission for Auburndale, but the Board of County Commissioners, being a county commissioner, because I was around during all that time, and I know for me on staff, it's quite rewarding to see all these things that we discussed and we planned come to fruition. And of course, talking about the Tropics and professional soccer out at Lake Myrtle, can you go back to all those commission meetings, whether city or county, and what it means to you to see everything being so successful?
Yeah, it's very gratifying, you know, when you go out there and see all the activities going on. I can recall one time when I thought city manager Bobby Green was going to have a stroke at a young age when Auburndale Youth Soccer started playing their games originally at Lena Vista Elementary on some sand and some sand spurs. And I got up on stage and promised them that they would have, we'd build them some soccer fields, having no idea where they were going to be, how we were going to do it. But as time and blessings came our way, Lake Myrtle came into existence through a lot of hard work of a lot of different people from a lot of different commissions. And I'm fortunate, I guess, to be honored, but I didn't do it any way, shape, or form by myself. Well, it was a lot of people working together.
And obviously you're correct with that, but you certainly were behind a lot of it. So that conversation to the folks about getting off of those sand spurs was probably a similar conversation about Lake Myrtle. But we talk about it, a lot of people forget. Of course, we now have one of, if not the largest college spring trainings in the country going on at Lake Myrtle. That actually wasn't a part of the original plan for Lake Myrtle and the recruitment of Florida Youth Soccer Association, but it got finished first because when the Indians left Winter Haven, that left a big economic loss, if you will, for Polk County. So the ability to get the baseball part of it. So it wasn't just Lake Myrtle, this was the whole plan all at once. Talk about that and how obviously hugely impactful now for us.
Well, we had a pretty good idea that the Indians were going to leave. We just didn't know where, when, and where they were going. So we were at the time thinking replace them with another major league team or two major league teams. So there was a lot of conversation in the backgrounds with the city of Winter Haven and actually the Tampa Bay Rays at the time, the Baltimore Orioles, and some other teams as far as doing a two-team complex. However, that did not fall into place. It was a little later on. So we were looking for a way to replace that economic impact, as you said, and rust mat baseball happened to be the answer. Little did we know at the time that it would far exceed the economic impact that the Indians had. What we didn't count on in the numbers was all the family members of all these teams up north getting out of that cold weather in the spring and coming with the teams for their vacations.
The first time on grass fields. Theirs are still under snow, so yeah. To your point.
But through sports marketing, through a combination agreement with the city of Auburndale and the county commissioners through the economic development through the bed tax, able to build those fields and have expanded on it since then. And Lake Myrtle Sports Complex has still got room to grow as far as youth football fields, Little League baseball fields, USA Water Ski organization. I mean, it's still a work in progress to this day.
Well, it's got to make you feel good, I would think. As I said when we started, laying the foundation, but tremendous support not only from city commissioners that have followed you, but also county commissioners that have seen the success of this and have supported it really at a high level, and TDC board members. And I mean, like you said, it takes a lot of people, but the support of this, because imagine this county without all the resources and all the assets that we have now, it's quite scary to think about where we might be.
But I mean, it's a long story. I don't know if we have time for it here. I'll try to be.
Well, you're a former county commissioner. You
Tried to be brief. It really actually happened and started when Bobby Green was meeting with C. Fred Jones, a longtime senior member of the House of Representatives, out on his family's homestead property, and it was for rails to trails. Well, he got out there, and all the rail on C. Fred Jones's property had been removed. Of course, Fred was. He was the dean of the House, like I said, and he was he was chairman of the Transportation Committee. So it probably wasn't by chance that the rail was removed on his property, but not the adjoining properties. However, when he was out there and doing that, you know, this beautiful land was there, and brought it back to the city commissioner, which I was honored to serve with Jim Moody and Charles Johnson and Richard Heyman and Dr. Bill Sterling. And C. Fred Jones, as only he and his wife could do, came in and gave a State of the Union address to the city commission about the land, the history of it. And basically, from that point on, we said, well, we have to watch out for the taxpayers' money of Auburndale. And we negotiated the deal to buy that land right there in the city commission, and instructed the attorney to go draw it up and do it. And they financed it for the city, and we paid it off, and that's how Lake Myrtle started.
Well, it's been fantastic, and it wasn't just Lake Myrtle. There were so many other projects, obviously with Legoland and some other things. But talk about your days on the City Commission and why it was so important for you to, because we're talking about a long career of service here, and why it was so important to you to be involved either at the city level or the county level, because, you know, like I said, you're being honored for all the great things you've done, but why was it important to you from the beginning?
You know, it's hard. That's a hard one to answer, I guess. Started maybe in high school when I was student body president, and city manager Green was senior class president. Well, he was class president, I think. I believe he was class president just about every year. And we started back then. I mean, how far back it goes, John Stewart, who became superintendent of Polk County Schools, was our principal then. And you know, so I guess the service started then, and Bobby was he was a city commissioner, one of the youngest mayors in the state of Florida, got his degree, became city manager, and, you know, we just talked, we'd always talked about serving, and just ended up running one time.
Well, it's fantastic. And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what you do now. You know, now that you're out of public service, what are you doing now in your private side?
Century 21 Myers Realty. I'm the owner broker for 2 of the offices, and in the Lakeland office we have a managing broker that does that. A former soccer star himself, Brock Jennings, played at Auburndale. His dad, you know, coached the championships team this last year. Yeah. And then I believe he went on and played at the University of Tampa.
I believe that was Auburndale's 3rd state title in soccer. Of course, we had Coach Robinson on earlier from the basketball team. Right. But what's that moment going to be like? I know you already found out, obviously, and found out you're going into the Hall of Fame. But what's that moment going to be like when you get up there in front of 700 Polk County attendees to the Polk County All Sports Awards on June 11th? But what's that moment going to be like for you to be inducted into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame?
It'll definitely be an honor. You know, just grateful to those that the family, you know, that allow you to serve and do that. Like I said, the other commissioners that supported it, the TDC that supported it, making sure that, you know, they have some credit in that as well. But it'll be an honor.
Well, it's funny because before we went on air, I said to Sam, I said, you know, obviously you do what you do on the show, but when we get to Jack, I'll probably steer the ship a little bit, because I know, being part of staff and seeing it from this side of things, we certainly wouldn't be where we are today without you. And seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate everything you've done, because I get to see all the rewards on this end of it. So thank you and congratulations.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
All right. Well, that is Jack Myers, and he's being inducted into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame on June 11th at the RP Funding Center, and we're certainly looking forward to that. Athlete Spotlight's always a special part of this program. We're going to go ahead and look at a Summerlin Academy student who performs in Kindu. So stick around. Sam and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
I am a senior, a 12th grader. I got involved last year when I was a junior. Halfway through the school year, I was taking this class and I passed that class, so I didn't need it. So I went to my counselor and she told me, so we got several options for you, to move on with your second semester. What would you like to take? I'm like, to be honest, I really don't know what class I want. So she told me all the varieties of classes, and she told me Kendo, and I was shocked, I'm like, I've never heard of that type of class before in my life. So I decided to give it a try, and I told her, yes, please, I would like to take that class. That's how I knew about this class. I found out about it. When I started, yes, it was a little bit difficult because it was halfway through the year and everybody knew what they were doing, and I got here and I didn't know what we were doing. The sparring was a little hard. It was because I barely knew some moves or some shots that I couldn't get yet well, and there were really tall people that would actually hit me, but at some points I would get them back. There are several difficult parts, like the sparring, like the practices. When you don't get a certain move right, you have to go back and do it again. But once you get enrolled into this and you understand really what it is about, it's not hard. There's really nothing hard about it once you know everything. Now this year, when these new kids came in this class, it's been really good. Actually, this year I was chosen to be one of the teachers for them, for the females, so I could teach them the basics and what they need to improve on. When I spar, I really don't think. I just observe at the person I'm my opponent, and if I see what movement they're planning to do or what they're trying to hit me at, that's when my brain just go for whatever opening they have. When you scream at your opponent, you're basically telling him, get ready because I'm going to go for you. Hey. Get It has given me a whole bunch of confidence in whatever I do. Just go for it, spiritually, mentally, physically. I feel so confident in everything I'm doing. I feel like this sport, basically, for me, it's when I feel some sort of pressure on me, it's like the sparring part just takes it all away. It takes all the hardness that my body feels, and then at the end of the day, I feel great again. Kids, adults, if you don't have that confidence within you, you need to take this class. It really builds it up, and it helps you in several ways. It helps you not just on this. You can do it. You can even use whatever you take in this class. You can use it as a tool for your future and for your daily life, because not only do we use this confidence just here, we use it everywhere. We need confidence every day to keep our lives going.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central, our fourth and final segment. I'm Neal Duncan, Sam Baker.
That's
We
right.
got a sponsor we want to thank?
We do. We want to throw a quick shout out to Hampton Inn Lakeside Village for sponsoring the fourth and final segment of this Sports Central show.
Yeah, really good show, not necessarily because of us, but because of our guests.
Well, at least because of me.
Oh, but
hey, if I say it's okay.
And I was very serious in thanking Jack Myers for all that he's done and contributed to not only Polk County in general, but the sports community here in Polk County and all the great things that are happening now. But we also have some other folks that are going to be going into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame on June 11th at the RP Funding Center. Joe Nemechek, of course, a NASCAR legend, Alan Mills from his long career in the Major League Baseball, and I think he's actually pitching or is still a bench coach.
He's
or
the
pitching
he's
coach
the
for
coach, the general manager,
minor
I believe,
league,
for one
yeah.
of the Orioles rookie ball teams. So
Yeah.
he's still out working, I believe, out in Sarasota.
Yeah, so he'll be there. Herbert Dixon, he has got a special story. Mr. Dixon is actually 99 years young, and he will be inducted, and he is a legend in Polk County in the sport of golf. And when you've looked at other inductees over the years, you can say, I can't believe that they've never, that they haven't been inducted, because we have such a deep pool of candidates. You look at Mr. Dixon, 99, so he will definitely be the oldest inductee ever into the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. So we're looking forward to hearing from him. Mike Estridge, also from golf, and Forrest McKinney. He's another one that's kind of like a long time due to go in. Unfortunately, we lost Coach McKinney back in the 70s, and he was actually one of Ken Riley's football coaches.
Yeah, one of Ken Riley's football coaches, also back with J.J. Corbett as well. And one thing I just wanted to point back to as well with Jack Myers is just something that I'm very fortunate with you being here, is that I'm reaping the benefits now of all of the hard work. I don't know the county any different from what it is now. I've just seen kind of how everything is. I haven't seen anything before, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Things before all the work he's put in.
And I think the best way to look at it is, in Polk County, we've always been blessed with a lot of great attractions, a lot of museums and art opportunities and cultural opportunities, sports opportunities. But what you're seeing is all the greatness that's been Polk County is just continuing to grow by leaps and bounds. And you look at the renovation of the RP Funding Center, you look at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. That renovation is going to have the Tigers here for over 100 years. So there's so much history in Polk County. So we're going to get to relive a bit of that on June 11th there at the Polk County All Sports Awards. But getting back to last night on the radio version of Sports Central on Talk 1430 and Talk 96.7, we talked to Dan Talbot, the athletic director for Polk County Public Schools, and the amount of championships these high school teams and individuals have won is unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. We believe that this has been a record year for Polk County sports, it feels like. Yeah. Last year around this time for this event, we were seeing, I think, maybe 11 or 12 state and national championship winning individuals and teams.
Right.
Now we still have teams and athletes out there still competing, and we're already at 22 state and national championships. As Dan said, there's something in the water down here.
Yeah.
We are producing athletes and teams, individuals at such a high level in
great
Polk County.
coaches too. I
And
mean, we're
great
blessed
coaches.
to have great coaches as well. So Lake Region softball, they're going to be playing for a state championship in Class 7A. That's actually today, later this afternoon. Lakeland Christian baseball is still alive, I believe.
George Jenkins
George
baseball.
Jenkins won last night at the regional championship, so they're going to the Final Four. You have Florida Southern College men's golf. Unfortunately, they lost in the national semifinal yesterday, but you have Southeastern baseball is going, looking to defend their national championship. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And then even Southeastern and Weber both competing for the national championships in track and field in the first year of Southeastern's program. They both sent a collective 20 athletes up to that national championship competition. So it really is unbelievable this year.
We're expecting a sold-out crowd. In fact, we know because we're almost there a couple weeks before the event. For that event on June 11th, the Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The good thing about that event is there is no shortage of people to recognize, so we're looking forward to that. Speaking of great teams, Lakeland Flying Tigers.
The Lakeland Flying Tigers have so many games coming up, and we want to at least highlight all that we can within the next few weeks. Friday, May 31st, Lakeland versus the Fort Myers Miracle at 6:30 p.m. And that will be the Grady Judd bobblehead giveaway, so get out there for one of those.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Oh.
So they did this promotion with Sheriff Judd, and I think it's the first, 1,200?
Something like that, yeah.
That are in attendance will get the Grady Judd bobblehead. This is just a testament to how great our sheriff is, that he's willing to do this, willing to do the promotion. In fact, he even did a video that said, all you got to do is get this bobblehead and set it out in front of your front door, and that's the best security system you need. So he has fun with it.
Exactly. And so that bobblehead giveaway will be coming up, and then Saturday, June 1st, they will still be playing Fort Myers Miracle, and that will be Battle of the Badges night. and a fireworks extravaganza after the game. Sunday, June 2nd, that will be the Alan Trammell Hall of Fame meet and greet. The Roar of '84, and there are packages for a meet and greet for Alan Trammell. And then June 7th through the 9th, they'll be playing a series against the St. Lucie Mets.
Yep.
And then the Daytona Tortugas, June 10th through the 13th. And then all their usual promotions, Bark in the Park, Baseball Bingo.
So Bark in the Park is on Mondays, Baseball Bingo is on Tuesdays, and then Wednesday, All You Can Eat night.
All you can eat, and now all you can eat wings. So get out there, and I know that's some of our friends' favorite nights are all you can eat night there, because I go there hungry.
Well, and the thing about it, we joke about it, with all these promotions, and whether it be in-game or the food promotions or the special things, it's almost like you're paying for that, and then a baseball game broke out. They do such a great job, and so the value is there. It's family friendly. It's everything that we are here in Polk County, and we certainly love our Tigers. We already talked about the Tropics' upcoming games, but let's remind everybody when they are.
So Wednesday, May 29th, they will be playing the OFC Barca out at the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex, and that is the UPSL Tropics Soccer Club team, and then the Lakeland Tropics Soccer Club. They will be playing out at Bryant Stadium Saturday, May 25th against the Villages, and that is the team that knocked them out of the Open Cup. Right. So they're hoping to get some revenge there on that night as well.
We've got a couple of Memorial Day weekend baseball events, but I want to talk about the Flying Tigers. Their baseball camp is coming up as well.
Definitely. They are having a baseball camp with their pros, their athletes out there, so they're going to be out coaching. But June 10th through the 12th from 9:30 to 1, ages 6 to 14. And then you can learn baseball fundamentals and sharpen the skills with their pros. That includes a T-shirt and lunch as well for all the campers that come out. And again, that is June 10th through the 12th.
Yeah, Florida Southern College, their camp's coming up.
Exactly.
We're getting into summer. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Isn't that when summer camps usually?
No, it makes sense. It's in the name.
Yeah, exactly. And if you listen to our sister show on the radio, we did have Mike Donnelly on a couple weeks ago to talk about this camp. It's just a great team and individual camp that he has been running every single year. He and his coaches put on, along with former and current players that are out there. But those day camps are June 10th through the 13th, and then July 22nd through the 25th. And then the team camp is June 7th through the 9th. So any coaches watching, welcome to all teams to come out and participate at the high school level.
The TMAC $10,000 tournament, we had Coach Eric Robinson on, but let's hit that one more time.
Definitely. So June 21st through the 23rd, the entire tournament will be at the Tracy McGrady Gym at Auburndale High School, but there will be a camp on the 22nd at the community center. Right. So you definitely want to get out there, because it was fun catching up with him, because you do hear about the talent that comes through the gym and the amount of people that I'll see. I mean, Tracy McGrady will even play in it some years himself. Right. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting out and catching a couple games, because the quality of basketball is so high.
And the price is right.
And the price free. Wait,
for the camp and for the tournament.
Exactly.
So it's unbelievable. We got great athletes, as we mentioned, coming back to Polk County and giving back. And we certainly, it's kind of been a theme, today.
Very
we
fortunate.
saw the footage of Ken Riley. We talked about Tracy McGrady. Of course, recently Ray Lewis was back and doing some of his things. So we are truly blessed to be here in Polk County with all the things we have. Another great facility in Polk County is the Visitor Information Center, which is located 1/2 mile south of I-4 on Highway 27. And Justin and his crew, they do a great job of greeting our guests and those people visiting Polk County. But it's important to note that that's not the only place that they're doing that. There's a visitor station there at the entrance at Legoland Florida Resort. There's now one at the RP Funding Center, the entrance to the George Jenkins Arena. So they really are doing a great job of getting the information out there, not only to guests coming into Polk County, but as you said, residents of Polk County need to know. So one more time, visit centralflorida.org for a full list of events going on. We got some sponsors we want to thank.
Yeah, we definitely want to thank Balmoral Resorts, Hampton Inn Winter Haven, the Hilton Garden Inn of Lakeland, Ovations Bistro Bar and Grill, and the Hampton of Bartow for being this show's special sponsors.
Yeah, and we want to remind everybody, you mentioned it before, but tune into the radio version of Sports Central on Talk 1430 and Talk 96.7 Tuesday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. and Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. We certainly appreciate that. And again, centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org for a listing of events, or you can give us a call at 863-551-4750. The next live edition of Sports Central will come to you Friday, July 7th. But I do want to mention, if you are planning on going to the Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame induction ceremony on June 11th at the RP Funding Center, you have to call us now, because that event will sell out and it's very close to selling out already. So it's going to be a packed house.
Give us a call and we'll definitely be out there to field and get you all tickets to what will be a great event.
Absolutely. Don't forget, Friday, July 7th, we'll be back right here on PGTV. For Sam Baker, I'm Neal. I don't even know who I am. For Sam Baker, I'm Neal Duncan. We'll see you again next time.